What's going on, Los Angeles Chargers fans? It's your boy JP Football Fanatics back with you once again with another record prediction video for the Los Angeles Chargers for the 2023-24 NFL season. The Chargers have quietly done teeny tiny things a little bit to help this team improve after a very, very disappointing season last year in terms of the postseason and losing after going up 27 to nothing at halftime, and for them to lose to the Jaguars last year in Jacksonville and on Wild Card Weekend is something that the Chargers would want to try to bounce back from, and especially the quarterback, the franchise quarterback that should be there for his entire career, Justin Herbert. So do the Chargers finally get over that hump and finally make a name for themselves this season? Do you think Justin Herbert is finally going to leap over and be able to perform at the top level that we all know that he can compete at? Is this Brandon Staley's last year as head coach? And how well is this defense going to play in terms of stopping the run? Let me know in the comments down below as far as what you guys think. It's JP Football Fanatics telling you to please drop a like on this video and please leave a comment down below to tell me what your prediction is as far as the Chargers go this season. And if you have not done so already, please be sure to hit that subscribe button as well too, please, if you can do that right underneath this video. And when you were subscribing to the channel, please be sure to hit that notification bell as well, because any new content that I post, whether if it's pre-recorded or if it's live, you guys will be the first one to really know that I have new content posted, and you'll be able to tune in and be able to be the first ones on there and be able to conversate with me with football and how the season's going to go. Let me know, do all those things, all will be good. And without further ado, let's get started with the 23-24 season for the LA Chargers. Here we go. We have the schedule for the Chargers. I will give my brief opinion about the Chargers, okay? Before I even analyze the schedule. So, the Chargers are a good team. They are not a great team, in my honest opinion, but they are a good team. The team has a lot of talent. But what brings this team back is the coaching. Coaching has not been up to par of where expectations have been set for this team. So I do have some questions about the team this year. I think they could improve, but I also think they could drop as well. But let's take a look at the schedule and see what they got. You got to go into week 1, and you're at home, and you got to play Tua and the Miami Dolphins. I have you guys. I believe I do have you guys actually opening up the season 1-0. I think I do have you guys beating the Dolphins. I think at home the game is not in Miami, so that heat is not going to be really playing the advantage there. You're playing in California. You're playing in a dome pretty much, or inside of a football stadium in SoFi Stadium, and you don't have a whole lot to really worry about. You don't really have the fan base to really back you up in this game. But I do believe that you guys have just enough to be able to go in there and beat Miami. I think you have the secondary that matches up well with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and company. And I think they'll be able to stop Tua's throwing ability from last season, which they did such a nice job with last year. I think they have the secondary that can do it, but it's all going to depend on the run game too, which the Dolphins doesn't really have much of a run game, to be honest with you. Then you go into week 2, you play the Tennessee Titans in Tennessee. I think you guys are going to go on into Tennessee, and you guys are going to go in there and beat them. The Titans are kind of in a rebuild this year, in terms of, trying to find their new identity of what they want to be. They're kind of a team that's kind of like an identity crisis. They're not really sure what they want to be. They don't know if they want to play defense. They don't know if they want to run the ball again with Derrick Henry. They don't know if they want to get back into the passing game and put Ryan Tannehill being relevant again. It's a mixture of a lot of things for this team. So, but I think the Chargers are more, I feel like I could trust Justin Herbert's offense to get going with this game more than I can trust Ryan Tannehill and this offense for the Titans. Then you go into week 3, you play the Minnesota Vikings. This is quietly a really, really, really underrated good game. I like this game. I think this is like a high explosion offensive game here, in my honest opinion. But you're playing in Minnesota. You're playing a really tough environment. I think the Vikings can beat you in week 3. I think it's early in the season. The Vikings, usually start out kind of strong, but then they stumble at the end. And I think they get themselves on the right foot here and they go in and beat the Chargers at home. Sorry, Chargers fans. Then you go into week 4, you play the Las Vegas Raiders. Again, just like you have been in recent years, I think you split with the Raiders this year. I think you can beat them in week 4 at home. And I think they're going to beat you guys here in week 15 on a Thursday night football. Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be, trying to, get himself in shape. He's going to try to figure out what this Raiders team is. He's going to want to try to get himself back into the scheme of Josh McDaniels and this offense that he likes to call. And we'll see how it really works out for them. I think the Chargers are probably on both sides, maybe a little bit more talented than the Raiders, but the Raiders offense is what keeps them in this game. So that's why I'm going with the Chargers to split with the Raiders this year. Week 5, you have a bye. Then you're coming off the bye and you play the Dallas Cowboys at home on Monday night. The Cowboys are a premier team this year. I think they're going to be a sneaky, not sneaky, but I think they have a lot of good things about them. And I think Trayvon Diggs and that pass rush is going to be a lot on Justin Herbert and that offensive line that hasn't really shown me anything yet. So I'm taking the Cowboys to win in week 6 in Los Angeles. Week 7, you play the Kansas City Chiefs. I have you guys splitting with the Chiefs this year. I think you lose to them in week 7 before you go in to week 18 and you beat them in the final week of the regular season. Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, what other better matchup can you ask for than that? It's just a phenomenal matchup between two really good quarterbacks with a offensive-minded coach versus a defensive-minded coach, which that defensive-minded coach has not proven much of anything yet. So both those matchups will be really good games and really high scoring and really close games there, in my opinion. That could be a wide margin anywhere between 3 to maybe 6 points. Just saying. Week 8, you go to play the Chicago Bears at home. You should be able to beat the Bears. Maybe you might have some tough times with stopping Justin Fields in the run game, but I think you should be able to do enough to be able to beat the Bears. There's not a whole lot there that really scares you. I think you have the secondary that can cover up DJ Moore well and company and everything like that. So I think you should be able to do that. Week 9, you play the Jets on Monday night. I believe I did pick the Jets to win this game, in my opinion. It's not a home game per se. It doesn't really matter whether or not the Chargers play at home or they're playing away. But I believe I do have the Jets actually beating you guys this year because I feel like the Jets defense is going to be a lot. And this will be kind of like the first time that we see Justin Herbert match up with Aaron Rodgers this season. So, we can definitely see in terms of how that's going to go. So I think I am going to go with the Jets still. I think the Jets are, they're going to be, coming out hot around this time. They're going to try to really figure out where they are. So that's why I'm going to go with the Jets in that one. And if I did make a mistake there, I do apologize for that. Then you go into week 10. This is another really good matchup for the Chargers that I'm actually really looking forward to, hopefully maybe seeing. It is the Detroit Lions, who are going to be coming off of a bye week, going in to Los Angeles to play the Chargers. Two really good offenses, Jared Goff and Amon-Ra St. Brown, Justin Herbert, Mike Williams, or Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler. Really, really, really good offensive explosion between the two teams that's going to go, forever, I believe, in my opinion. This should be a really nice, solid game for both teams that I would say, are pretty evenly matched, in my opinion. I think they're pretty evenly matched. But I think the Chargers might have the edge here just because I feel Justin Herbert is a lot more explosive and he can create more plays than Jared Goff can. So I will take the Chargers to win in week 10. Week 11, you go to Lambeau Field and you play the Green Bay Packers. I think you get 2 in a row, and I think you beat the Packers. I think, this will be the quarterback draft class versus, between Justin Herbert and Jordan Love. And we're going to see where Jordan Love is at this season. Right now, I have Justin Herbert. I trust them more right now than I trust the Packers. So I think they win in week 11. Week 12, you go in and you play the Baltimore Ravens. I like this game too. Another really tough game for the Chargers. It's another team that again, I feel like it's going to be really, really hard for them to be able to stop Lamar Jackson and being able to, stop him from doing his favorite thing in the world, and that is getting outside of the pocket, running around in circles, and doing what he can. So I think the Ravens go in and they beat you guys in week 12 at home. Then you go to week 13, you play the New England Patriots. I think this is a really interesting matchup. Again, two defensive-minded coaches. I think Bill Belichick, maybe on paper, is the better coach not maybe, he definitely is the better coach than Brandon Staley. I trust his defense and his coaching a lot more than Brandon Staley by a mile. I think this game is going to go either way. I had a difficult time with being able to pick between the two. I do believe I did pick the Chargers though, so I am going to stick with that with what I said. I think the Chargers, and Justin Herbert and everybody, I think they can go in and beat you guys. Or you guys can go into New England and beat them, but it's going to be a tough work. But I could also see you guys losing to the Patriots though too, because the Patriots defense is stacked and they just got better in the offseason. Week 14, you play the Denver Broncos, just like you do every year. I believe you're going to split with the Broncos. You're going to beat them in week 14, and then you're going to lose to them in week 17. I'm sorry. That's just how it is. That's how it always is. Especially if you have to play Mile High. That's never an easy place to play. So that's why I got to go with you guys beating them in week 14 at home, because there's no really weather concern there like it would be in December, January, in week 17 in Mile High. Then you guys go ahead and you play the Buffalo Bills at home. I believe I have the Buffalo Bills beating you guys, and I'm going to stick with that. If I do, the Bills, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert matchup. This is a matchup we haven't really seen much of yet, so this will be very fascinating. It will be very interesting to see. Two coaches that are defensive-minded coaches. We'll see who the better defense is. I think it's still the Bills, honestly, but the Chargers could probably match up well with Stephon Diggs, maybe. So we'll see about that. So the overall record that I have for the Chargers right now is about 9-8. I think that's about right. I think that's a pretty reasonable record. They could probably go to very similar to what they were a year ago. I could see them probably going 10-7. Maybe they could win one or two of these games here. I think the highest you're probably going to say is maybe 11-6, but that's pushing it really big. So maybe 10-7 would be the highest. Like, there are a couple of these games I could probably see them losing or winning against. Like, maybe they could actually sweep the Raiders this year, but I don't think that's happening. Or they could probably beat the Jets at home. I think the Jets are a pretty beatable team as well. It'll be a tough game, but I think they could also be beatable though at times. So 9-8 is about the record that I have for the Chargers and Justin Herbert, and we'll see if Brandon Staley stays after this season. And so with all that being said, everybody, where do you think the Chargers end up this year? Let me know in the comments down below. It's your boy JP Football Fanatics telling you to please go ahead, drop a like on this video, give it a nice thumbs up. Please be sure to hit that subscribe button as well, and be sure to hit the notification bell so that way you can be notified every single time that I post some new content here on JP Football Fanatics. Help the channel grow to be bigger and better than what it is already. It's your boy JP Football Fanatics saying thanks. We'll see you all next time. Peace.